there guys, Bilbo10000 here, bringing you episode 14 of Rate Their Chances, the series where we rate the chances for potential newcomers making it into the base roster for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, inspired by the thread of the same name over on Smashboards, which you can find in the description. If you've missed any of the past 13 episodes, click the card in the top right corner for a link to the full playlist and enjoy. And don't forget that my 10,000 subscriber Nintendo gift card giveaway closes on September the 1st. If you use pounds, euros, or American dollars as your currency, you are eligible to enter. Details are in the description below. Today's episode of Rate Their Chances is going to be fun, and I've got some interesting characters I'd like to tackle. It's going to be an entertaining time for sure. Today's 5 characters we will be rating are Excitebiker from Excitebike, suggested by Beppis, Master Hand from the Smash Bros. Series, suggested by Awesome Named 7, Incineroar from the Pokemon series, suggested by Gunner Potato, Vaati from the Legend of Zelda series, suggested by Stinky Ink, and, after 13 episodes, he's finally here. Goku from the Dragon Ball franchise, suggested by Demon King 18. I hope you guys enjoyed today's ratings. Please be sure to leave your thoughts and feelings in the comments below, and tell me who you'd like to see me rate next. Without further ado, let's begin. In every Smash game, players have noted that Sakurai tends to add at least one character who is considered a retro representative, someone from a bygone era of Nintendo's history who has perhaps been forgotten by time, yet is revived by Sakurai's power to direct these games. In Melee, we had the Ice Climbers and Mr. Game & Watch. In Brawl, we had Rob and Pit. In Smash 4, we had the Duck Hunt duo. So the question remains, will this trend continue? Personally, I'd say Simon Belmont technically fits this role, given his design is based on his classic NES appearance, but at the same time, the retro rep, as it were, is usually a Nintendo-owned character, a first party. So the Excitebiker would certainly work, right? Excitebiker debuted in the Excitebike game on the NES in 1984, and you guessed it, drives a bike. The franchise only had 3 games, with the original being the most notable. However, that doesn't mean the franchise was forgotten. Excitebike received a course in Mario Kart 8's DLC, which was received favourably by fans, and various Excitebikers appeared as part of an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The biggest problem the characters face is moveset. The Excitebiker would have to stay on their bike the whole time, similar to how Bowser Jr. is always riding in his clown car. Take away the bike and you lose the whole theme of the character, so making a moveset based on a vehicle could be extremely difficult. The biker's special attacks could be similar to Duck Hunts, in that they could draw from various NES games of the genre they originated in to create a moveset, and many fans online have created various movesets that work with the bike in tow. The main issue is whether programming the bike in and balancing the character would be too much work. Plus, with a focus on fan service, it often feels like people bring up characters like Excitebiker and Mark Rider purely to fill the retro rep quota, which isn't how we should be looking at the roster. To this end, I'm going to give the Excitebiker a chance score of 10%. Thinking about a weird retro rep, I could see Sakurai making this work, and with the Excitebikers having been an assist trophy before, he knows the characters. That being said, this is a very generous 10%. As for my want score, I'll give them a 60%, as I'd be intrigued to see just how Sakurai could incorporate such an unorthodox moveset into the game and whether it would feel natural or not. For those of you that watched episode 10, you saw my original rating of Taboo, the main adversary of Brawl's Subspace Emissary. I gave him a 1%, then after seeing the August 8th Direct, I moved him to a 0%. Master Hand is getting the exact same treatment, I'm afraid. The main boss and the final challenge for each Smash game, Master Hand is a powerful entity with a large variety of moves at his disposal. He's a classic character in the Smash Bros. Franchise, and provides an ending to Classic Mode where each character must face off against his power. He's got Crazy Hand as a relative and has a true form known as Master Core, which was revealed in Smash 4, so his power has the potential to go through the roof. But as a fighter in the base roster for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I'm not seeing it. There is a focus on boss characters this time around, with Rathalos and Dracula getting emphasized for their roles during the last Direct. With this focus, it wouldn't make sense to change the boss with the most continuity through the games into a fighter. Master Hand is a fighter who would only work if there was a specific mode that allowed you to play as a boss. For example, and he certainly wouldn't be tournament legal, he would have to be shrunken down, and it's not the same situation as Ridley. Unlike our Metroid villain, Master Hand has stayed consistent in his size for his entire run in the franchise, and has always been far bigger than even the largest of playable characters. With all of this in mind, Master Hand gets a 0% chance of playability in the base roster. If there's a character that the people want that really should be written off, it's Master Hand. He's the stuff of dreams, but ultimately, Ultimate won't be his day. As for a want score, I'll give him an 80%. Seeing the main boss of the franchise become playable would be extremely satisfying, but there always will be an element of the character not matching up to his non-playable appearances, which could ruin the magic of Master Hand. I find it absolutely insane that we haven't discussed a Pokemon rep since episode 2 of this series. It's crazy how far we've come, I'll say that. But onto Incineroar, this is going to be an interesting topic of discussion. Incineroar is one of the 3 main starters of the Alola region, being the final form of Litten and thus a prominent Pokemon who has had quite the road to make it where he is today. He's been the butt of many complaints due to his design looking extremely similar to the tired archetype of firefighting that everyone is just about done with. Turns out he's a dark type, so that's cool, I guess. That being said, as much as I hate fire type starters compared to water and grass, I have to admit that Incineroar has boatloads of charm and potential to be a fighter in this Smash Bros. Game. He's one of the few mons that the Pokemon Company have been pushing so heavily, enough to compete with the likes of Mimikyu, Decidueye, and Lycanroc, amongst others. Assuming a Generation 7 Pokemon was added to Smash Ultimate, they would have to get in via the Greninja method like in Smash 4, meaning Sakurai would have mainly concept art and the Pokemon Company themselves to go off when making this choice, and his concept art is bursting with flavor and personality. We've never had a traditional grappling wrestler archetype within Smash Bros., and his inclusion could be used to fill the void of Charizard in Smash 4, where the character was his own. Hell, just give Incineroar Charizard's Rock Smash move and you've basically fixed that problem. One curious note about his concept art though is that this move he's using here is scarily accurate to the one King K. Rool uses in his reveal trailer. Smash characters are known to share moves, look at the clones or any characters that have a counter, but for me, the biggest notch in Incineroar's favour is our friendly leaker Vergeben. He's a Smash Ultimate leaker who, up to this point, has not been proven wrong. Check out my video on him if you haven't seen it already, it's in the top right corner. The big thing is that Vergeben has predicted a Generation 7 Pokemon who is not Decidueye, Mimikyu, or Lycanroc, admitting eventually via a DM that one of his sources said Incineroar was the new fighter, though he wasn't 100% on that. At this point, I and many others feel Incineroar is the most likely to enter the ring as a newcomer from Generation 7. So I think with this in mind, I'll be giving him a score of 75%. The Pokemon Company have always had a new representative join the fight in each installment, and I don't see any reason for this game to be any different. As for a want score, I'm giving Incineroar a 50%. I'd personally rather see Decidueye or Tapu Koko myself, but my gut is telling me Incineroar is beating them to the punch. And I'm still not sure how I feel about that fact. Another Legend of Zelda newcomer? I've mentioned in the past that many fans are against Zelda getting any more newcomers because they feel the series is perfectly represented with 3 Links, 2 Zeldas, and a Ganondorf. As a lifetime Zelda fan, I and many others disagree heavily. So what takes priority when deciding a Zelda newcomer who should be added? Seniority, appearances, unique design, species? Well, today we'll be looking at a character who embodies all of those traits in their own way. Vaati is a major Zelda villain who has appeared in 3 separate games: Four Swords Adventures, and the Minish Cap. He's a sorcerer, as most Zelda villains tend to be, and seeks to cause havoc and destruction, with his original goal being to absorb the Light Force from Princess Zelda. As for seniority, he would take precedence over a majority of the modern Zelda games, with his final appearance being over 14 years ago in 2004. As far as appearances go, he is a primary antagonist in the Zelda franchise, second in appearances only to Ganon himself, which is extremely impressive for the character. His design is warped in shadow, and assuming they use his sorcerer form, he could be an interesting foil for Toon Link, possibly even a rival, given that the Minish Cap form of Link seems to be a mishmash of traditional and Toon Link's designs. And he represents the Minish technically as a species, as he is one of their own. For a moveset, he could be the sorcerer that Ganondorf wasn't, choosing to use projectiles and attacks that are more similar to Zelda's current fighting style, but with his own twists added in. His moveset could draw upon all 3 of his appearances, with Vaati possibly transforming into his more twisted form for his final smash. That being said, Vaati may be the second most recurring villain of the Zelda franchise, but looking at the sales figures for the franchise overall, all 3 games he was the antagonist of are the 3 worst selling mainline Zelda titles. In other words, Vaati has been seen by the least amount of Zelda fans out of the lot. On top of this, his original debut game, Four Swords, was only accessible as a bundle with A Link to the Past until 2011, where it got a remaster for the 3DS. Due to Vaati being from the arguable black sheep part of the franchise, other characters from more wide-selling titles would definitely be given priority and would be more popular to the general public and Nintendo fans. As such, Vaati gets a 1% chance. I won't write him off as he's a Nintendo character and has some factors in his favour, but I haven't seen much demand for the character within my research aside from a passionate few, and I get that feeling, I really do. But I have to remain unbiased here, and everything is pointing towards no inclusion. As for a want score, I hold no personal attachment to Vaati, with the Four Swords games being the only 2 Zelda titles I have not had the chance to play. But as for his fans, I'll give him a 60% want score, as I know how much some of them want to see Vaati make the jump to playable, no matter how much the cards are stacked against them. Welcome everyone to my discussion on why Goku and characters that have not originated in video games are never, ever, ever going to be playable in Super Smash Bros. Let's begin. Super Smash Bros. Is a battle of gaming characters from the history of the medium. Even within third parties, it still holds its place as a gaming brawler. Every character we have ever had in the almost 20 years we've had from this series have been from gaming icons from Nintendo's history and from the world of gaming. Goku is a manga character, most well known for his anime series Dragon Ball Z, which got a majority of Western fans to view anime positively for the first time. He's a gateway character from a gateway series, but an anime character has no place in Smash Bros. He doesn't represent Nintendo's history or gaming's history. He may have had games based on his franchise, some of them even releasing on Nintendo consoles, but they are not his point of origin nor his character's focus. Please listen to how Sakurai selected characters back in 2014. We conduct a character popularity poll both domestically and internationally. We also research games that are currently being developed. After that, it's pretty much up to us with a touch of convenience. That says it all, really. They research games. They don't research manga. They don't research anime. They research games. But Billy, what about Marvel vs. Capcom and Negan's in Tekken now? Why does it matter where a character comes from? Good for those franchises, I say, but they aren't Smash, and they aren't ran by Sakurai. You cannot apply the ideology of one fighting game to all the rest. Smash has always been about video game all-stars battling it out. It's the appeal that drew me to the franchise. Goku appearing in Smash would open a Pandora's box of character requests from every medium that would oversaturate and ultimately ruin the feel of the series. What's to stop characters like Gollum, Harry Potter, Shrek, Logan Paul, various memes, etc. being requested if Goku gets added? He's got his games. He's got Jump Force coming out soon as well. He doesn't need to be in Smash. There are times where it's okay to blend anime and gaming together, but this is not one of those times. With that in mind, I refuse to rate this character. In fan circles, people have made up the term fourth party for characters that have no origin in gaming. Of course it's not a real term, but it works for what I'm about to say. I refuse to rate fourth party characters on this series, because I have more respect for the medium of gaming, and I have respect for Sakurai, and I refuse to exploit you, the viewers, by rating meme characters like Shrek or Phil Swift when we all know they are not happening. And that's that, really. Thank you very much everyone for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me what you think about my fourth party choice. Do you think it's okay not to rate those characters? Do you think there's even a chance that someone could be added in if they're not from gaming? What are your thoughts? Leave them down below. And I will see you next time for another episode of Rate Their Chances. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.